Welcome to ETF Wrap, your weekly digest of the top stories in European ETFs. This week, we saw UBS Asset Management make a statement of intent with fee cuts across its range. Elsewhere, fears about stubborn inflation have seen investors pile into inflation protection ETFs. And finally, launches pick up with new ETFs from 4 issuers. First, UBS has made a bid to compete with other large issuers by cutting fees across more than 200 ETF share classes. As part of the changes, the firm now offers Europe's cheapest MSCI World ETF after slashing the product's fees by 2/3. Elsewhere, it halved the expense ratios on its MSCI Europe and 7 to 10-year Treasury ETFs. The sweeping fee cuts come after UBS booked $715 million of outflows last year, the largest exodus across Europe's top 8 issuers. The firm said the acquisition of Credit Suisse by its parent company last year has also enabled economies of scale. Its fee offensive comes after State Street and DWS cut fees on ETFs housing $21 billion at the end of last year. Among these was State Street's S&P 500 ETF, which became Europe's lowest fee ETF at only 3 basis points. Next, December inflation numbers surprising to the upside prompted investors to duck and cover in inflation-protected ETFs. During the first 3 weeks of the year, investors poured $440 million into BlackRock's Treasury Inflation Protection ETF. This came after a US CPI print of 3.6%, ahead of the 3.4% forecast for December. There were also other signs an economic soft landing could be on the cards, with US new jobs coming in 46,000 above forecast, while retail sales were 20 basis points above expectations. These numbers all serve to challenge the immaculate disinflation narrative that took hold at the end of last year. Finally, the week saw a number of issuers fill out gaps in more esoteric corners of the market. First Trust built out its thematic commodity range with ETFs tracking companies involved in future economy metals and scarce resources. Next, ETF Stream revealed AXA had expanded its Paris-aligned offering with the European Equity ETF. Elsewhere, BlackRock became the latest to launch a Sharia-compliant Sukuk ETF after HSBC broke ground on the space last year. And finally, JP Morgan expanded its active US equity range with core, value and growth ETFs. And that's a wrap for this week. Thanks for joining us, and remember to subscribe to keep up to date with all the latest in ETFs. Until next Friday, take care.